to unforeseen circumstances, an agent is not available to take your call. We apologize for this inconvenience and ask you to try your call at a later time.
It is Tuesday, February 8th. I've been trying to get a hold of him for a week. I don't know exactly what it takes to close down a government building in Oklahoma City. Apparently, they don't want to be open. So, since I have really nothing to show you guys on the goings-on of my college life, or lack thereof, I thought I'd interview some of my friends and get their perspective on what they think of college. So, here you go. But first, my intro.
Meet Nolan Cash, Army veteran, blue-collar worker, photographer. After an honorable discharge in 2007, he moved back to his hometown in Pennsylvania to rejoin the workforce. But after losing several jobs due to a bad economy, he called his old sergeant and moved to Huntsville, Alabama in early 2009. In little over a year, he has succeeded more than he ever could have back north. Aside from having a very successful job in a major pharmaceutical company, he has also opened his own photography gallery, played an active role in the KID Art Collective, and he even has 2 web pages. So what's next? College! Nolan plans to use the benefits he has earned in the military to further his education, but that's easier said than done. Like a wise man once said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This is his journey.
When I graduated high school in 2005, I applied to several different schools, but the only one that gave me a significant amount of scholarship money was UAH, which was beneficial for me because I was able to continue living with my parents while I went to college.
Well, mine was pretty good. I mean, I went through 4 years, including 6 months in Thailand. So, my parents helped me out as far as like the paperwork and stuff, so it wasn't that bad.
So you went to Thailand?
Yeah.
How did
I lived there for 6 months.
You lived in Thailand for 6 months? Was it like on a abroad or something?
Yeah, I was studying abroad.
Okay.
I don't know, I was in for 7 years, and yeah, the regular GI Bill was total crap. I mean, like, and they set it up to where you couldn't really do anything with it. So the post 9/11 came out, and I just, you know, I decided to sign up for that. But then I called and I tried to, you know, I had to get my acceptance letter, and after I got my acceptance letter, I didn't really know what to do, and I went to the VA people down. I was going to go to A&M, and the VA people over there are useless. Like, the lady didn't know what an arts transcript was. She had no idea. And she's the VA rep at a college, which, by the way, for the record, an arts transcript is a transferring over of your military experience to college credits. But she didn't know what that was. She's a, useless person. And it didn't work, so I kind of gave up on college for a while.
Since UAH charges all of their students $200 to buy a meal ticket, even if you decide you don't want to eat the food that is there at the campus, which most people don't, because most of the food that is served by any kind of school, be it public or higher education, is garbage. Also, there's petty fees, like for students, new students, you're required by their laws to spend an extra $4,000 so that you have to live on the campus for 2 years before you can get your own place. Even if you live in Huntsville, you still have to spend $4,000 your first 2 years at the school for lodging, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Also, there's parking passes. There's new parking passes. $160 for a parking pass. If you are a previous student and you already have a parking pass and a parking spot, this year you still have to pay for a new one, which is more expensive than the previous ones. There's about 10,000 students that go to UAH. That's $1.6 million made by the university just from parking. Where's that money going to? There are very few select branches that they think are more important than everyone else. If you're an artist, well, then that's just terrible. If you're a biologist, then sure, you're set. You've got extra money for your classroom. But it just doesn't work for everyone. Not everyone wants to be an engineer. Not everyone wants to be a biologist. Not everyone wants to be a rocket scientist. And I just think it's preposterous.
I think I scored a 27 on my ACT, and I had a 3.3 GPA, so they gave me about $6,000. And I also had an insurance settlement from a car accident that I was in when I was much younger, and it was about $5,000. But even with all of that, I still had to continue to work through most of it. And my parents, thank God, supported me through it and paid for some of it too. But I remember my first semester at UAH was well over $2,000. And the books themselves, which is not counted in the tuition, they were over $500. And unfortunately, when you go to college, and most colleges, such as UAH, they like to change books every year. So it's hard for you to sell them back and get the money that you got for them. And you also have to buy new books every time that you have a class. So that's another hidden expense that you don't really think about.
So I quit school so I wouldn't go into debt for like $50,000. And now I'm working as an artist, graphic designer, and I have studio space, so it's cool. I'm not gonna whine because I didn't get to go to school for free.
I had $10,000 in scholarships. Yeah, $10,000 annually, so every 4 years, plus a few grants and stuff like that. I have about $20,000 in debt, but that's average, you know. So
Yeah.
and I keep deferring it because I don't make enough to pay it back yet. So.
I met Tara, but I had to jump through hoops to get my GI Bill stuff because it had accepted me to A&M, but then I had to get it redone so I can go to Calhoun because the A&M people didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So then I got accepted to Calhoun, and then I took my placement test, and I started school, but they didn't give me my money right away, so it took them like a while because I didn't know anything about it. That it apparently takes them like 3 friggin' months to process everything, so you have to get it done way the hell ahead of time.
How are you surviving without student loans?
The military.
So you're using
Military scholarship, pretty much.
So is it the post 9/11 GI Bill?
No, my dad retired 26 years in the military, and due to that, my whole family gets free schooling. My dad gets it forever. My mom gets it forever. Me and my brother and sister, as long as we start before we're 26, we get it.
So like, what kind of like paperwork and everything did you have to go through? I mean, like.
None. My dad did all that. He took care of most of that. All I had to do was go in and get my classes, send my classes into the company that takes care of the funding and shit. And that was easy, quick, painless.
My son's healthy, we're good, I have a job, I have a place to live, there's no horror stories. So I didn't get to go to school for free. I had to work my ass off and got some schooling done, and I got a job doing what I went to school for.
What'd you major in?
Biology with a concentration in environmental studies.
Is there like a limited job market for that right now, or?
It's growing, especially in kind of what I specialize in, which is reptiles and amphibians.
Mm-hmm.
So, the job market isn't good for anything. I mean, people who have doctorates are doing jobs for masters, and people with masters are taking jobs away with people with bachelors. So, I'm currently working at Stakeout. Although I could be working in my field if I moved, but you know.
But you just don't want to relocate?
Well, I don't have a problem with it, but I'm spending some time with Ron before I go and get my master's.
Are you trying to psych yourself out so you don't go to college?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. I'm going to college.
Okay then. That's all the whining for.
I'm not whining.
Okay.
I'm just documenting the goings on. So you would suggest to people to go for the master's degree?
Well, Well, it depends what field you're in, really. I mean, but in my field, I can't earn any money without a master's.
And when you decide to take out financial aid, you have to make sure that you take out the right kinds of financial aid, because even when I finished my degree, I spent 3 years at UAH, and their tuition increased exponentially during the 3 years I was there. And so I transferred to Athens State to finish my teaching degree, and I finished it in May 2010, and it is now February of 2011, and I don't have a job.
Okay. Goings on is take the free money that the Army's going to give you, go to school, get your degree, and then be very happy that you accomplished something that you had to probably work really hard for, and it's going to suck for a little while because you have to study, and then you'll be done. It'll be cool. Right?
Yeah.
They don't offer you like any kind of assistance other than at the school. And if you're someone like me who's 30 or someone like you who's 27 and has never really been to college, you don't know what you're doing. It's not like the guidance counselor in high school can help you, you know. And so I had to deal with that crap, and Tara's phone's ringing. Hold on.
Just apply for everything. Apply for grants. Apply for every Sally Mae and loan and all that stuff. Just apply for everything and see what you get. You can deny it if you don't want it.
Well, where all do you go for all that stuff?
Just go online. Look at free. Go to FAFSA, FAFSA.gov.
What is it?
FAFSA.
FAFSA?
Free application for student.
Oh, okay.
No one's told you this yet?
No.
Yeah, don't do that.
No one tells me anything.
Go to Calhoun or UH, wherever you want to go, and talk to an advisor. They'll tell you everything.
Okay.
They'll point you in the right direction.
It's a scary thought, considering today's economy, that if you graduate and you may even have a secure field where you think that you can get a job, such as being a high school teacher, and you can't, and you will be up to your eyeballs in debt for a very long time. So if you're going to apply for student aid, you need to apply for FAFSAs and Pell Grants. And if you have to apply for a student loan, make sure that it's a very low interest student loan, and read your terms and conditions about when you have to start paying that after your graduation date.